Welcome to another exciting episode of Your Reputation Precedes You. Today, we're joined by a really special guest. This is my dear friend, Mindy Scarlett, the world famous, accomplished ghostwriter. Mindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mindy, in the last conversation that we had, you mentioned something that I found to be really curious, which is why I thought it would make sense for you to have you on the show again to talk about it. You mentioned something about your book being your business card. I found that to be a very curious choice of words, as well as I never previously thought as a book and a business card in the same way, because a business card is a business card and a book is a book. Yes, they're both made of paper, usually some sort of thick paper stock, but I've never really thought of them in the same way. But you said your book is your business card, so care to maybe unpack that and tell
Sure.
our audience how?
Well, if you go back about 10 years, being able to say that you were a best-selling author was really like, wow, that was a head-turning event. Fast forward to today, and it's a lot more common because a lot more people have figured out the secret sauce of how to become an Amazon best-selling author. And that's all well and good, but it's now made it, and I've had people say to me, why do a book? Because it's become so much more commonplace. And my response to that is, it's 10 years ago, it was something special that certain people aspired to. Now, because so many business owners and coaches and consultants and thought leaders are doing this, it's now become expected, just like it's expected that you would have a business card. So if you don't have it, it then becomes a detriment. So the proliferation of having a bunch of people do best-selling books is not a reason not to do it. It's more of a reason to do it, because then people will kind of look at you sideways and say, okay, you can't be that professional if you don't have a book. So it's become standard rather than something special that only 10% of people do. And if you are seriously a content creator, a coach, a consultant of some type, if you have some area that you have specialized knowledge in, then having a best-selling book gives you that much more credibility, but it also gives you a tool for people to really understand what is special about you.
So it's almost like not to blow my own trumpet, but then it essentially, your reputation does precede you, and people are knowing about you prior to meeting with you or having a conversation with you, and they are, I guess, essentially being primed to want to work with you because they're already seeing you in this new light of being an author. Like, wow, being a published author, which is, as I'm seeing it, it sounds really cool and it's very impressive. There is a certain amount of rigor that goes into the process of becoming an author, a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And to say
I've actually, just recently, I've been doing a lot of connecting with people on LinkedIn, and I connected with this really high-end builder in Tampa. I can't remember why we tripped across each other, but we got to talking, and years ago I used to own an interior design company, so we, just got to talking about the biz and all of that, and then he mentioned that he had a book, and he said, give me your address and I'll send it to you. And I thought, okay, I'll see what he's up to. And he sent me this gorgeous package of information that had these sales sheets that had pictures of houses that he built. And then it was his book that explained to someone how to work with a builder, what questions to ask, etc. And it was like genius, because it would really help smooth the relationship and set expectations with the client of how to work with him and how to communicate with him. And it was just like, wow, he's really got his act together when it came to marketing, because you've got the whiz wow sell sheet that were printed in 4-color, and then you've got your instruction booklet, if you will, that had a lovely 4-color front cover, but then it was printed black and white inside. So he had the best of all possible worlds in this toothsome package that he could send to potential clients to help close the deal. And then afterwards to help with the whole communication and managing expectations and managing timelines. Because if they'd read his book, they would know what to expect.
Interesting. So it's almost like the book then it becomes more than just something that is like a self-flattery type thing. It's actually a genuine independent resource that adds a lot of value because it's giving the reader a lot of valuable information about the subject such that they have a deeper understanding of it and will help facilitate a smoother communication flow and a better working association or a working relationship either with the person that sent you the book or anyone else in that field. So it almost becomes a representative or a talking point for the industry.
Right, and then he had obviously thought it through before he wrote it. If he had written a book about the history of Frank Lloyd Wright or something like that, then he wouldn't get what he needed for his business. So that goes back to the most important part is deciding what book to write.
And also why you're writing it, right?
Well, not only why you're writing it, but what purpose do you want that book to fulfill within your business?
And
like if you're a speaker, then you have the book where you can do sales in the back of the room. If you're a marketing agency, you can use the book as a door opener to get a CEO to take a meeting. If you're looking to connect with clients and you go to a lot of trade shows, then you can have the book to just hand out, or you could have it as people can win it in a draw. So they put their business cards in and you pull one out and they get your book, but then you get everybody's business cards. So, I mean, there's, I could talk all afternoon about the different ways that you can use a book to help your business.
Interesting. Yeah, that's terrific. So the book really then does become the business card, but of course a lot more useful than a business card, because I think 80% of business cards either get lost or end up in the trash. But it's highly unlikely that you would throw away a book, because a book is seen as valuable. It is seen as being being a container of information. So even if you may not read it immediately, it will stay there, and looking at it will remind you of the person that gave it to you. At the very least, I think.
That's very true.
Awesome. Wow. So, Mindy, thank you so much for unpacking that concept of your book is your business card, or your book is your new business card, or the book is the new business card. So thank you.
Or the bottom line is you need a book and a business card.
That too. For sure. So thank you for that, Mindy. And for our listeners, stay tuned to our next episode, where we'll be talking about how to book more clients, pun unintended. Or maybe it was intended. But we'll catch you on the next episode for that. So stay tuned for that.